So you do believe that Derek is in the driver's seat?
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. It's that time of the year again. The reigning Mr Olympia Derek Lunsford joins his coach, Hany Rambod, to go through those brutal workout sessions that always make a big difference when it's time to step on the stage. So everyone has a different view on who really is in the driving seat, as we are now only 8 weeks out of this year's big show, the Olympia. Some people think it's Hadi, some people think it's Derek Lunsford, and some people have this opinion, especially after this year's Texas Pro, that Andrew Jack has a very solid chance of winning this year's Mr Olympia. Such a Cutler, who has keenly observed this year's bodybuilding season, he still has Derek Lunsford in the driving seat.
So you do believe that Derek is in the driver's seat?
I do.
And he's going to come improved from last year.
He is.
So if you
And so
improve
is
from
Hadi.
last year,
And so is Hadi.
and so is Samson and
I
Andrew.
would think Nick also is on a crazy redemption from the New York Pro.
But other guys like Milo Sorsev, they think it's Hadi and he's winning this year's big show. Well, at the end of the day, it's Hany Rambod who's gonna win, because he has top 2 guys in the men's open bodybuilding, and he has 5 times classic physique Mr Olympia champion Chris Bumstead going for his 6th title. And yes, I know Hany Rambod has been doing this for years, but picking 3 guys who are trying to be the best in the world, that I have to say is a lot of pressure.
You still think he's going to win?
Derek? I don't think Derek is going to win. I think that Hadi is probably going to show up, at his all-time best.
So coming to that man who everyone is chasing this year in the men's open, Derek Lunsford. So first of all, let's dispel this notion that he isn't the hardest working guy out there. He has been so consistent with everything throughout this year, and we are gonna see a lot of improvements in Derek's physique in 8 weeks time from now. So it will be really interesting if they ask these guys, especially in the men's open, to weigh for this year's Mr Olympia. It would be a lot of fun if they do it at the press conference, just like they asked all the men's open guys to weigh themselves at this year's Texas Pro. I for one really want to see what these former 212 guys, Hadi and Derek Lunsford, currently weighing as they are ruling the men's open class for the last 2 years.
Do I like Andrews and Samson's physique shapely better than
Structure-wise.
Yeah, than Hadi, yeah.
Next up, we have an update from Hassan Mustafa, showcasing tremendous power, wrapping 6 players on the shoulder press. So he has been eating big since he ended this year's competitive season, and that is why he is already up to 300 pounds. So just for the sake of perspective, Hassan was 260 pounds at Van Pro last year, and that was the show that he won, and he earned his Olympia spot for Olympia 2023. And I truly believe that Hassan should have been on the Olympia stage this year. All that mass, all that size, all that freak factor, but unable to deliver because he wasn't able to bring the conditioning at both the shows that he did this year. So I have no idea why he chose to go for a different coach this year, when his former coach Chad Nichols, he did such a tremendous job with him in 2023. He looked his career's best at Toronto Pro last year, and even his Olympia look, that was extremely impressive, even though he had a tricep tear. So Hassan, if he was in the same condition as Muhammad Fada in that Chicago Pro lineup, he could have easily been fighting for that title, and I truly believe he would have won that show hands down. But again, not trying to hate on Hassan, he just cannot get peeled enough, and that has nothing to do with the lack of effort or his work ethic. That is just how his genetics are. So Hassan this time is gonna be in a very long off season. He will try to get more polished, maybe build some more lat width, because I think we can all agree he doesn't have the best V-taper in the game. So let's see how he shows up in 2025. Next up, we have an update from Krizo. So finally he's scheduled to have his shoulder surgery this Monday. So Krizo is going to be resting for a while. So with Prague Pro scheduled to be in November, 3 months away from now, and after that shoulder surgery, he's going to have to go through a recovery phase. I don't think there will be enough time to get himself ready for Prague. So I think he most probably won't be able to compete at this year's Prague. And keep in mind, Krizo has done that show twice already in his career, ever since he turned pro. He won that show back in 2022, which was also his IFB Pro debut, and he placed second behind Samson Dauda in 2023. So Krizo sitting out of this year's Mr Olympia, that is such a big blow. He brings so much size and so much freak factor to the stage And let's not forget that he was top 7 in the world last year. And I think we should not judge Michael Krizo based on his last appearance, which was Emperor Classic Spain, where he lost to both Behrouz Tabani and William Bonac. The man really wasn't on his A game, and that really showed on the stage as well. So let's just hope that there is nothing serious about Krizo's condition regarding his shoulder surgery, and both the surgery as well as the recovery, that goes smoothly for him. So his look at last year's Prague Pro, that was arguably the best look of his career. He had the perfect balance of everything, that overwhelming size, and decent enough conditioning. Now he was more drier and more shredded at the Olympia stage previously, but he wasn't as big, and he did not have his trademark wow factor that was seen on him previously. So the guy is a top 10 Olympia competitor, irrespective of the depth of the lineup. So really looking forward to see him back on the stage in 2025 with a bare back, because that's the one thing that is really holding him back. Next up is the physique update of Matheus Menigate, the guy who surprised us all by placing a very close second behind Gabriel at this year's Texas Pro, which just happened this past weekend. And to think that he was able to push a former Olympian, and that too extremely hard, and that too at his pro debut, that speaks volume about his potential. And I think he is gonna be a force to be reckoned with in classic physique in the future. So how was he able to change his physique so much in just a matter of 2 years, from an amateur to a pro, where he's pushing so many big names of classic physique? I have to say that is just insane. Just take a look at the pictures from 2022. He was able to grow everywhere, especially his quads and his back. Those absolutely exploded. And not to mention his quad sweep. That is just nuts. And that is actually the main factor, giving Matheus the ability to create that insane illusion of having such an amazing V-taper. The man had the best quads in this year's Texas Pro lineup, and he will continue to push until he gets his Olympia qualification for this year. So I'm sure Matheus will be really happy about getting some pointers after this year's Texas Pro, especially on the posing and the presentation. From the best from Brazil, Ramon Dino, just before he steps back on the stage this weekend. So Matheus is gonna be extremely good in the future as he fills out his frame, especially his upper back and his chest. So he has all the tools to be a great classic physique competitor for many years to come. Next up, we have an 8 weeks out physique update of Tempo Pro champion, Jon De La Rosa. So these are the two shots that Jon needs to work on the most for this upcoming Mr Olympia. Front double biceps and the front lat spread, because his side shots are crazy impressive. And when he turns around, those back shots, they are really his biggest strengths. Now Muhammad Fada, who plays second behind Jon at this year's Tempo Pro, if he was in that same condition as Jon, he could have won some more shots, other than the front double biceps and the front lat spread. But he still would have lost both the back shots, the back double and the back lat spread. And the thing is, ever since Jon started working with Patrick Tour, they have figured out the perfect formula to get him absolutely peeled out of his mind. So the man has been on a steady incline in every show that he entered. So Jon, without a doubt, is gonna be one of the most experienced guy at this year's Mr Olympia stage. In fact, the only one person who has been competing longer than Jon, that is the former Mr Olympia Brandon Curry. So props to Jon really. The injuries could not stop him, and he's able to make improvements even when he is in his 40s. Because that is the point where most of these guys start melting. So can Jon be in the top 10 at this year's Mr Olympia? Maybe he can, if some of the other guys then miss their mark on the show day. And also if guys like Behrouz Tabani do not show up. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.